What's up, guys? It's your girl LA in LA, and today I'm joined with Leah.
Hey!
And Shingy's here too. But we're gonna be doing an Ethiopian food mukbang, and we're gonna be talking about being Ethiopian and growing up just like in America and how that's kind of shaped our upbringing a little bit. So we want to share that for you guys because I've been getting so many requests to do Ethiopian videos and I haven't done them in so long. So let's call them and order, because we're gonna order from Queen of Sheba and then pick it up.
I'm doing the 7-day vegan challenge and today's my last day. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to get some vegan items.
We wanted to do an order for pickup.
What do you like to order?
What do you guys have for som?
Serum, veggie, and no tomato sauce spaghetti.
Mr. what የላችሁ?
There is a mustard, but the veggie has.
Okay, and veggie platter ማድረግ እንችላለን. On the side ደግሞ የጥብስ ፍርፍር.
You know, the was take out.
Take out.
Over about 20 minutes.
All right, perfect. If you're trying to be a hot girl in the summer, we got you.
Go slower, go faster.
Dude, I literally, I'm scared what happened. Just got hit on like by 3 different guys at the same time. But it was like sweet. He invited me here for free food on July 4th, so,
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine. And you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would
And then I asked for meat on the side, and she was like, sure. And he goes, oh, Amarinya, you're Ethiopian? And I was like, yeah. And then the lady was like, couldn't you tell? And then I was like, ha ha. And then he was like, what's your name? Like, whatever, in Amharic. And I go, Lekem, which is like how you pronounce my name. And he's like, Lekem? And he Lekem Margish. Oh, I don't even know. Like, he's about to scoop you up. Oh. Guys, we are back at Leah's house and we're about to start digging in, and I'm so hungry.
Dude, I'm ready.
Let's open it up and see what we have here. Oh, yes. And she gave me that side of meat.
Yes. Oh my god, that's so much meat.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, dude.
Oh my god, I'll give you a gursha.
Ooh, let's start with that. Why don't we explain what a gursha is, and maybe then we can start talking about how, like, oh my god, I can't wait to take a bite.
Okay, Max, you ready?
Stick a pancake into a friend's mouth. It's a gursha.
I think there's like some like American show that's like gursha, gursha, gursha.
Gursha, gursha, gursha. Everybody gursha.
The Simpsons.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
They have low-key a lot of Ethiopian references. It's either them
like
like
South
gassing
Park
up the
too.
food or saying some bullshit.
The kids are acting ethnic.
Relax, homie. Have some leftover gala-la-la-la-la-la-la.
How do you feel like the Ethiopian culture, I guess, has kind of influenced your upbringing? Let's start with that. Like,
Being Ethiopian Orthodox Christian, especially, like my upbringing was like kind of conservative in a sense. That was like hard for me sometimes just because I feel like I'm not really a conservative person. So it would just kind of clash, you know? Like I would be like hanging out with like my American friends or whatever, and like the things they were able to do were different than like what my parents really wanted me to do. Like I couldn't go to sleepovers and stuff growing up, which kind of sucks just because I would feel excluded. My parents were kind of strict, so like they wouldn't let me go as many places, and then I felt like my like American friends or whatever would be hanging out all the time. Like there's like that like American side of me trying to like fit in with like that culture, but also like the Ethiopian part of me wanting to hold on to my Ethiopian culture and not like lose that part of myself in this world or whatever.
Kind of same here. The only difference I would say is there was a point where, because I also lived in Tanzania, so when I came here, I was just like, I don't want to be seen as like the African girl or whatever, because like I was Ethiopian and lived in Tanzania. I definitely market myself as more American than anything else, and then when people come up to me and get to know me, they're like, oh, you're Ethiopian, or they'll just like notice it.
I think that's interesting though. Like, do you think you had like more of an accent before?
So I was so like adamant on not having an accent actually that like I refused, this sounds so stupid now looking back, but basically refused to like learn Swahili, which is the Tanzanian language. Yeah, because I didn't want to have an accent and you'd get so made fun of. So I was just like, I don't want to like...
By ignorant people though, that's the thing.
Yeah, true.
I feel like now people are really starting to like glorify accents. You know? Like they're like, oh, like that's like really interesting, or like, oh, like that's like hot or something, you know?
Fetishizing it.
We speak in English accents all the time, you know? Sometimes I feel like I wish I didn't like suppress the differences in the way I said things as much growing up, just because I feel like it's okay to speak differently, and I think that it kind of adds character because it shows where you're from, you know? I don't know if people have ever said this to you, but people have been like, you talk like...
Yeah. Oh yeah, girl. I'm the Oreo of my high school.
No,
That's what I...
You know what I mean? It's hard whenever you're like caught between these two different cultures, and like you're trying so hard to fit in, so like you don't want to like mispronounce things, and you're trying to speak a certain way in front of Ethiopian people. We seem like we're like fudge or whatever. You know?
True. That's why you...
Like, what's it at that restaurant? He was like,
Sometimes also I feel like there's just like this weird in between because like we're black, like our skin tone is black, but we're also not categorized as African American.
But even African American isn't even like an accurate depiction of black. Because sometimes I feel like that makes it hard for us to fit in. But also I feel like we've like kind of flipped that and made it to where we can interact with people of all different cultures, which is a good thing because we didn't like segregate ourselves in a sense. I just feel like I never like fully fit in with like the black kids. Clearly never fully fit in with the white kids. And I never really fit in with the Ethiopian kids either, just because I was like trying to fit in with the other groups too. So it was just this weird like, where do I go in this?
How do you think church has helped with that? I used to go to Mariam, and that was really good for me because I was able to like see a lot of other Ethiopian kids, hang out with them, but at the same time, how do you even navigate relationships within that community because it's different?
I wish I went to church more growing up, you know, and I wish I valued it more just because I see the value more now. I think that then it was like, what's going on here? Like, this is not what church looks like on TV. I don't understand everything that's happening all the time. And so that made it hard too, just because like when I couldn't understand what they were saying and like I would just kind of feel like I'm sitting here, but I'm not fully like consuming it the way that I want to, you know? And not to say that I didn't ever understand everything, because I do love to go to church.
Church isn't about being social,
but it is like a gathering.
Yeah, low-key, like Ethiopians be like out here in church. Like there's always a service after too. Yeah, for like tea, shy, and bread, you know? So.
But I feel like that's what would make me anxious. You know what I mean? Like I'd be fine during the sermon part, but then once it came to like the socializing part, it would make me kind of nervous sometimes, just because I felt like I didn't fully fit in, like I couldn't understand everything, whatever.
Growing up Ethiopian in America, like definitely one of the things that I value the most is the fact that I have family displaced all over the place. So it's like
there's someone to visit like everywhere you go.
Lowest of keys. Yeah, and it's
whether it's like an aunt, uncle, cousin, or even a family friend. I feel like family friends you refer to as your family.
Like cousins or like
do you call like most of your friends cousins?
Yeah, literally like hi sis.
Hi sister.
Anytime you see an Habesha person, sorry, I say Habesha sometimes and people are like Habesha.
Really? People correct you on that?
Yeah. Do people not correct you?
Lowest of keys, this one I commented on the last video we did, which is the Skista video thing, and he said something about how I used the word Abasha, and it was like 2 paragraphs, so I didn't read all of it, but I was like, you really just came for me, and I don't know where I went wrong.
Yeah.
So maybe I've been pronouncing it wrong, but I thought it was just Abasha.
I did too, bro, but I think it's like Habesha. But yeah, now we look like Farah and George.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. We're caught in between like literally 2 worlds. Like 2 worlds collide.
That's the thing that people have to understand. It's like you're trying to like grow up learning like 2 different cultures, and like when you're with Ethiopian people, you want to fit in with them. When you're with American people, you want to fit in with them. And I feel like now that we're like adults, it's like we're finding that perfect medium. Not perfect, but we're finding that medium. I feel like as kids it was kind of like it could be confusing, you know?
It can be really hard to navigate.
Yeah. All I know is I do wish that I was more invested in the Ethiopian culture growing up. I didn't try to delve into the culture as much because it's kind of like what you were saying before, you want to be American so bad.
Yeah.
In America, especially previously, being American is glorified. Being able to speak a certain way is glorified. And when you're different, sometimes it's looked down upon. And so sometimes that can give you this like internalizing, like, oh, like not really delving deep into your culture.
Yeah.
And I don't want someone to come and be like, oh, you hate being Habesha, whatever, because I love being Ethiopian. Like, we wouldn't have connected on the level that we did.
Honestly, I agree.
Because we can just relate on so many things, like culturally.
Everything is a cause of reaction. So I just feel like when you understand like the cause to the reaction, it makes sense because everyone comes from different places. So the way they react to different things is different. And I feel like when you don't understand
why they're reacting that way,
you don't understand why they're reacting the way they're reacting. That's also why I wanted to sit down and talk about this, because I feel like it's interesting to like grow up in a different country than I guess your origin, you know what I mean? And like having to kind of like make yourself
assimilate.
Yeah, there we go. Like literally assimilate to the culture.
I feel like in Ethiopian culture, you give your guests and the people you love like everything and more, even if you don't have that to give.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's just really nice because there's more of a sense of community there. I think the society is more community oriented versus like a very individualistic approach that there is like here.
Everyone just likes to share. If I had $10 and my cousin was like, I need 11, I'd like try to find another dollar and give, her 11. It's just like that's the kind of like mentality I feel like a lot of Ethiopians have.
And I feel like people have probably noticed that about us. Like we do share a lot, but also that leaves room for being taken advantage of, especially when you're in a society where that's not the norm.
Yeah.
People see that and like are like, oh, let me take advantage of that.
There's been situations where, you know, like I feel like I've gotten taken advantage of, and like I'm sure you can say the same thing, but for different reasons. It's just once people see that like you're nice, honestly, and that you're just willing to kind of just do a lot of things with them
For people that you care about, yeah.
Yeah, like once you just show them that you care, they'll start to take, you know? Or like, what is it? Once you start to give, people love to take, as Leah says, literally. But they do, like people do like to take, and they don't really like to give as much of themselves, and so that can be an imbalance in like our life a lot of the time, because I feel like the culture is just like share, no matter what, no matter how much you're hurt, keep sharing. And like we've even had to come
be
to
like,
the
yo, yeah, we've even had to be like, you know, telling each other like, hey, like,
yeah,
I know you're just like being a
nice.
good friend, and that's crazy. The fact that we have to be like, yo, like, stop being so nice, dude. I mean, that's I think such a positive thing about our culture. Like, and I think people notice that, you know, like I've had people tell me like, oh, like Ethiopian people are so nice. I mean, obviously with everything there's like negative stereotypes, like
let's go through this one more time, Mr. and Mrs. Click Click Dirk.
I think those are some positive stereotypes that are like really meaningful.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really good trait to have, just make sure that people don't see it too soon.
Yeah.
What about in the sense of music? Because like for me, I know I don't listen to a lot of Ethiopian music, which makes me sad now, because we did the Learn to Skista this video, and we listened to a lot of Ethiopian music and stuff, and that was really, really fun, but I don't typically listen to Ethiopian music. And I know Miriam, who filmed the video with us, loves Ethiopian music.
She has already fans, bro.
Yeah, and I need to get that first of all, but I just never really like delve into it, other than my uncle, because he is David Senke, so I listen to a lot of his music. My uncle's David, but I know a lot of like older people listen to his music in Ethiopia. And
You gotta know Teddy Afro.
Okay, true. I know
Like,
Teddy
you know,
Afro.
you know, we know the basics,
Yeah.
but I feel like I'm kind of on a similar page. Like I know some Musmores, you know, from church, and then also just like popular songs that like my family would play. A lot of the time, you know, if my mom was like in the kitchen doing things or whatever, there's this one song. Please comment down below if you know what this song is called, because I used to bop to this. But it was like the Cupid Shuffle at Amaringa, bro. It'd be like, and what a feet, and what a gara, and it should, something, I don't even know, but that was my jam, bro.
How do you feel like religion has affected your views on a lot of different topics? Like we already discussed kind of before, like it's super conservative. For me, I feel like my mom is as liberal as it gets when it comes to an Ethiopian parent, to be honest, because she worked for the UN, so she was very, very liberal when it comes to just everything, like sexuality and all that kind of fun stuff. Ethiopians are typically very, very, very conservative.
Yeah, that could be very damaging, you know? Especially, and like, I hate to say that as the first thing I say, but it's like when you grow up in a very like liberal society, and then you have these like very, very conservative views with your religion, it's like conflicting. Ethiopia is hella homophobic, bro. Like that sucks, you know? And I mean, I think growing up it was just hard seeing the way Habesha adults would react to like seeing things relating to the LGBTQ community. Like that would be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like scary almost. It's like, why are they reacting like that? But also you can understand why people react a certain way once you know where they come from. So it's like you can kind of get it just because of like
their lifestyle,
growing up in Ethiopia maybe, and like, you know, how society is there. If I have felt really like pushed down, I guess, by like how conservative it is here, I can't imagine what that would be like if I was actually growing up in Ethiopia. So it's tough, but I feel like hopefully as time progresses, the Ethiopian community will become more accepting. The fact of the matter is that right now, it's not.
Yeah.
And that's probably like the tragic flaw
That's what
of being Ethiopian.
The only thing.
Can you explain what tragic flaw is? Because
the tragic flaw is just kind of like the one imperfect thing, and like everything that you thought was perfect, you're just like, oh my god, this is perfect. Like I love this one thing, and then there's like a chip, and you're like, how is there a chip on
and I
this?
think that homophobia is like one of those chips, and also a little bit of sexism too.
Definitely. Just to finish off this video, I just kind of want to ask you, what's your favorite thing about being Ethiopian?
I think my favorite part about being Ethiopian, I kind of talked about before, but it really is a sense of community and just the family values. Growing up, I would be like, why can't I go to sleepovers? Why can't I go do this, do that? But it took me going to college to like understand that it was just because they didn't want me to go somewhere and something bad to happen.
So thank you guys so much for watching this video. We had a really fun time filming it, and definitely check out Leah's video where we listened to the Hot Girl Summer playlist.
Yeah.
That was,
Sorry.
like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave us a comment, because I always respond, like literally always, so.